In 2012, I graduated high school and started Columbia that fall for film. The slight depression and anxiety that I had in high school had suddenly gotten a billion times worse. In hindsight, I'm not sure I was actually ready to go off to college yet. College was whole new surroundings, and I was having a hard time making friends, and it was just, growing up really fast. I expected to come to film school and be like on set ASAP, because I had done media classes all throughout high school, so I expected to, when I started film school, to be immediately like going on set and going out and shooting stuff, which it wasn't. It was, you have to learn the basics first. I had some classmates they would just put down everything you did. That's not how the industry works. And they would act like they knew everything. And I was like, well, sorry, I'm here to learn. My motivation was shot, so I procrastinated a lot. Half of my homework was never turned in, and if it was never on time. Sometimes I would just not feel like getting out of bed because my depression was just so bad. And then eventually at the end of the semester, I was like, Mom and Dad, I'm coming home. I want to get help for this depression, and then I want to come back. I was planning on going back the fall of 2013. I was like, yeah, I'll just take a semester off and I'll be back, but it ended up being years. I started getting treated for my depression and anxiety, but I still had nothing to do, really. So I would sit in bed for the first few months of 2013 and watch Netflix over and over and over and over, forever. That didn't help the depression at all. You gotta go out and do stuff. So I finally was like, okay, I gotta get a job. So I got a job at Pizza Hut, which was like 2 minutes from my house. They hired me on as a prepper, which meant I had to come in at like 6 in the morning, every morning, and make hundreds of things of dough and cut vegetables and stuff. And it was fine because I didn't have anything else to do. So I was okay with coming in at 6 and like no one else was. It was like fall of 2013 and I obviously wasn't back at Columbia. I kind of gave that up because I was like, oh, I can't afford it. I can't handle it. It's too far away, whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll go. They had a community college and I started attending there spring semester of 2014. But then eventually I was like, I can take the easy way out, get an associate's in 2 years and settle for something that's not my dream. So I started working on a degree in construction technology. I always wanted to fix up like old Victorian homes. And I got like 1 semester away from getting my associate's degree. I got a job as a trim carpenter and I liked it at first, but then my boss just started being a jerk. He didn't get that I was learning. He wanted me to be more experienced and he knew that I was a student when he hired me. It was very unsafe. He didn't have any guards on his saws and he would put me in uncomfortable situations. I mean, I technically got fired from there because he said, do this, and then he had to go off to another job site. So I was there alone doing what I thought was right, and he got back, and apparently it was completely wrong, but he didn't really explain it very well. I was upset about it at first, but it was kind of a weight off of my chest, and it kind of freed me because I had started thinking about going back to Columbia after I got my associate's degree, but then I realized I'm so unhappy doing this mundane job over and over. I stopped taking the construction classes. I thought, if I don't like working in construction, why even finish the degree? So over the summer of 2016, I started taking gen ed classes that would transfer to Columbia. The whole time I had been away from Columbia, I had been watching more movies and TV shows than I ever did before I went to Columbia. But I kept like talking myself out of it because it's way more expensive than going to community college, and it takes way longer, and it's a lot harder. But I decided that I had to do that. I owed it to myself because I didn't want to settle. And so this spring when I quit all my construction classes and everything was in motion for me to get back to Columbia as a returning student, my anxiety and depression was better than it had been that entire time I'd been away from Columbia. I was scared that the same thing would happen again, but I believe that I learned a lot from my mistakes. I'm more motivated now. I know I can't mess up because I can't afford to. And I really want it. I want it more than I ever did before. I'm gonna get that bachelor's degree.